Hello, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins. And from the Daily Blitz.blog is Mr. Christian Simpson. Welcome into the show, gentlemen, and welcome into Prime Sports World. If you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you come to the right place. Prime Sports World goes live every single day, basically, bringing you the most up-to-date content. And today, we're going to be breaking down week number 7 of Monday Night Football, and then we're going to get into week number 8 with our predictions and our preview of the games that are going to be happening in week number 8, as there are only 2 teams on a bye next week, so it's a pretty stacked card when it comes to the NFL. But yeah, I've also shared the StreamYard link, so if anybody wants to join us on the show, talk a little NFL action, you're more than welcome to do so. That's also in the Prime Sports World Facebook page and the Prime Sports World YouTube page. Please go over there and like, share, and subscribe to the show so we can continue giving you guys good content. Gentlemen, happy Tuesday. How is everybody? How are the panelists? How are you guys?
I'm sore.
I'm tired.
I'm also sore and tired. Like I have a nagging calf problem that constantly pops up. Like so I went and played basketball a little bit today, and yeah, I had that calf thing pop up again today. I don't really like it. Like it just hurts like hell. Like I don't know how else to explain it. But it doesn't happen to me all the time. It's only like once a month maybe.
The other day was a heavy day at the gym, so I'm kind of feeling it today. So,
well, here's some advice. Ready for some advice, DJ?
Yeah. Don't lift heavy.
No. You can lift heavy, but you should. Do you take glutamine?
No.
You should take glutamine after every single workout. It's so it helps to metabolize your protein and your body. So like when you get sore, that's your muscles that are damaged. Glutamine is something your body already makes that goes in and repairs those muscles faster. So if you take glutamine right after you work out, or like even like when you first wake up, your body will start to recover way faster. But glutamine is the GOAT, dude. I'm telling you,
I will look into that.
Take it for sure, dude. I'm telling you, it's amazing. But yeah, let's start talking about the Monday Night Football. Let's talk about week number 7, Monday Night Football. And yeah, I was wrong. Not only did Boston not sweep, the Chicago got the sweep on Boston first with the Chicago Bears beating. Actually, I think the Bulls game went final first, but the Bears beating the Patriots 33-14 behind basically a dismantling of the New England Patriots. Justin Fields, 13 of 21, 179 yards and a touchdown and a pick. He also led the team in rushing, 14 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown. Dave Montgomery also had a rushing touchdown. Khalil Herbert had the really nice screen touchdown in this game as well. Darnell Mooney, 3 catches, 53 yards. And New England, on the New England side, I think Zappy time might be up for the New England Patriots. He was wildly inconsistent throughout this game. 14 of 22, 185 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Mac Jones also threw an interception. If you've not seen the Daquan Brisker interception, the one-handed touchdown that he makes during this game, go do yourself a favor and check it out. It is one of the better interceptions you will see this season. I am sure of it. Ramondre Stevenson, lead rusher for the New England Patriots, 11 for 39 and a touchdown. Devontae Parker, leading receiver, 3 catches for 68 yards. Jacoby Myers scored the lone receiving touchdown for the New England Patriots, and for some reason, Bailey Zappi decided he wanted to make that like the most difficult touchdown Jacoby Myers is probably going to have in his life. Like it was so open and that it was just a wild underthrow play, whatever. But yeah, gentlemen, what thoughts on the game and the Bears, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, his first off, Matt Jones should have never got the start. He clearly wasn't ready to come back this week. He definitely needed another week to get right. Like you could
I'm not really sure about that. His ankle looked fine. Like he didn't look limited at all. He just didn't play well.
No, he didn't. Like if you're gonna do that, then if you're gonna play him, then why pull him? He threw 6 passes. How do you know he doesn't play better down the stretch? Why put him on? Like if you're gonna start him, why would you put him on that short of a leash when all you could have did was just sit him for another week?
I think the game. I think he wasn't playing well, and they were like, "Hey, we got Bailey Zappi, who's been good the last couple weeks. We'll just roll the dice." He
threw 6 passes. He went for 2 drives. 2.
Yeah.
What can you be told in 2 drives? Nothing. That's not fair to him.
I just don't think that his health had anything. I think he was fine. He didn't look limited at all by the hamstring injury or the ankle injury.
That's how like it was an ankle injury, but still giving him a whole nother week to get ready. And Gary, come on, man, you can't do that to him.
Okay, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I mean, if you're gonna roll with Mac Jones, at least let him finish the game. Like, exactly. And then all this nonsense to Bill Belichick during the halftime interview where he said, "No, that was always the plan. We're probably gonna put Mac Jones back." He was lying out of his, you know what? He was never planning on putting Mac Jones back in the game. Why even say that during an interview?
So you basically set that kid up for a premature failure. You look like, come on, man. All you have to do is sit him for another week. You got the Jets coming in, which is probably where you're going to need the better of the quarterback play.
For sure.
Right? So, like, you give Mac Jones all that. You give him an extra time to get healthy. You roll with Bailey Zappi for at least this game. Whatever happens, win, lose, or draw. Whatever happens. You go back to Mac Jones the next week. But to your point, this performance did not help him. 13 yards, a pick, and it was a bad pick at that.
Really bad. Like, the decision making on that interception. Like, if Jacoby, even if Brisker doesn't make an amazing play, somebody's picking that off. It was a horrible decision.
Like 3 for 6, 13 yards, one pick. Like, yeah, and then to your the touchdown pass that Zappi threw that. Yeah, like their arm strength isn't the best because that's when you're supposed to hit him in stride and he walks into the end zone.
They made that he basically made that as difficult as he could for Jacoby Myers.
Like that was bad. That was bad. Matthew Judon is quietly having a hell of a season. It's 7 games. He has 8.5 sacks in 7 games.
I mean, he had 3 in this game and a forced fumble. Like, yeah, he was everywhere in this game.
He had
2.5 in this game. 2 tackles for loss. He also forced a fumble in this game. That ended up being, I think, fumbled out of bounds. But
right, yeah. That ball went out of bounds. But I think this is what irks most logical Bears fans. Is like it shouldn't have took you 7 weeks. It shouldn't have took you 7 weeks to figure out this is the kind of offense that the Bears should be running most of the time. Like a lot of RPOs, a lot of QB design. Utilize the run game. Now, the receiving core, while it's not the best in the world, obviously, the fact that some of those guys are getting healthy definitely does help. I get it, N'Keal Harry isn't a game breaker, but 6'3", 2 whatever, you still got to kind of worry about that when it's on the field. Right? So, it's a game that hopefully the Bears can build off on going forward and go from there. Like it also kind of shows how sad the NFC is as a conference because the Bears are now a game out of the wild card. One game. That's sad, bro. Like that is terrible. Christian, input.
Yeah, I mean, I love the energy that the Bears played with last night. They swarmed to the ball. They were finishing tackles. Offensively, they executed. But the only issue I have with their offense, they depend on Justin Fields to run the ball a little too much for my liking. But other than that, this is the best game of Matt Eberflus's rookie coaching campaign. New England, they just look lost, missing gap assignments, not covering, not taking care of the ball. And I'm with TJ. Mac Jones shouldn't have been out there. That should have been Bailey Zappi. And I think it would have been a different outcome, possibly. But it was just the way the Bears were locked in to that football game for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I'm not totally sure about the Mac Jones. I think he looked healthy enough to play. But
nah, see, David, here's the point. What do I always say? And TJ knows where I'm going with this. You go with the hand that's hot. They won their last 2 games with Bailey Zappi. They killed momentum.
And they gave Green Bay all they could handle with Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, very true. I mean, look, Bailey wasn't doing bad. Look, he's not a game changer. He's not a guy that's going to throw the ball 30 or 35 times per game. They keep him within his box, and that's the thing about New England. They're going to coach you to your strengths. Like, look at all those years when they were winning championships. I think of the last one they won. with Tom Brady, the sixth one, when they beat the Rams. They didn't have a possession receiver, so what did they do? They used the short to intermediate passing game. Like, if they don't have possession receivers, they're not going to stretch the field. They're not going to take deep shots down the field, is what I'm going with.
So let's get ready to close this book on week number 7. Move on to the game balls of the week. I will go first with my game ball. My game ball goes to Joseph Burrow. Massive game against the Atlanta Falcons, 34-42, 481 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also punched one in on the ground. Joe Burrow gets my game ball. Really impressive play for the Mr. Joseph Burrow. TJ.
The Bears as a team, coaching the entire team. I'm so serious. The entire team. That was their first primetime win, and I think like 7 years since like 2015. I could be wrong. That was their first win in New England, like ever, like, which is insane. Like that.
Wow, that is a stat.
Right, like at least since what's his name took over, Bill Belichick took over, right? I think this is Justin Fields' first primetime win as a quarterback. He's also now 3-0 against the other quarterbacks in his draft class, so keep an eye on that. And again, like, I don't see you losing most games where you run for 243 yards, right? Like that's just not happening. And the defense, like to Christian's point, the defense was lights out.
100%. Christian, game ball.
I'm giving it to the Carolina Panthers defense. I mean, I just love the pressure that they put on Tom Brady. Didn't sack him. They only got 1 sack in, but he was under duress for most of that game. Playing that man coverage, like I say, keeping that spy in the middle of the field, and then getting to him with just 4. Not blitzing, and they just didn't give him the time of day.
Heard footsteps.
And then we're swinging and closing out on week number 7. Let's open up that book, that chapter on week number 8. And the first one we got is the Ravens, Tampa Bay Buccaneers going in on Thursday Night Football. Ravens coming in at 4-3. Buccaneers coming in at 3-4. Ravens coming off that win against the Cleveland Browns. Buccaneers obviously fell to the Carolina Panthers and cost me my survivor pick. So, yeah, that's fun. The last time these two teams played was in 2018. The Ravens edged out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-12. Pretty solid year, by the way, 2012. TJ.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of the Tampa Bay at all. It's just ugly all the way around. The defense ain't hitting no more. Ain't hitting like he used to. The receivers ain't like like something's off, man. I get it. Tom Brady is going through his thing, and I get that. But that's no excuse for the rest of the team to be lackadaisical like they are, right? Like you see your QB is definitely going through some. The least you can do is hey man, be there for him in some capacity. And that's by showing up on the field. Like Mike Evans dropping that touchdown that we talked about the other day. That's a 10 out of 10 catch for him, and he walks to the end zone. They got a lot going on. Baltimore ain't really giving much to brag about. Like they won a game where Lamar Jackson threw for 120 yards. Like that's what? Like he threw for 120 yards and they won. And I guess that's all that matters. But I'm not liking what Tampa Bay's putting on the field right now, so I'm going with Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm also going to agree with you. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think this is also one of those games. Maybe they could, because the secondary for Baltimore has been a little inconsistent, a little shaky, but they did kind of put it together against the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, I haven't loved what I've seen out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the defense is on the field way too much. They're getting exposed a little bit. And this offensive line for Tampa Bay hasn't been remotely good. That's a problem when you're going up against the Baltimore Ravens and the pass rush they're potentially going to have on the field there. I'm taking the Ravens too. Christian.
Yeah, Baltimore's playing a lot better now, especially on the defensive side, because they've simplified things. Playing that man-to-man coverage, putting too much emphasis on doubling one guy, and everybody else in that secondary is paying for it. Now, you haven't really seen too many of those big plays down the field. They're running the ball a little bit better. That's the formula for success for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't like the way Tampa's looking right now. Across the board, everything is wrong. Defensively, they're not stopping the run. Offensively, the offensive line. They're not protecting Tom Brady, and this Baltimore defense is always giving Tom fits, and I think that continues. I like Baltimore in this one.
Moving on from Thursday Night Football, let's swing into Sunday. But this is a 9:30 Eastern Standard Time kickoff as we are back at Wembley Stadium in London, where they get to see the Denver Broncos at 2-5 go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're also 2-5. Both of these teams are coming off of losses. Jacksonville losing to the New England Patriots or the New York Giants, and the Denver Broncos losing to the New York Jets. The last time these two teams played was in 2021. Denver won 23-13. Christian, how do you think this one's going to shake out in London as they get the best of the games there in London?
Look, Jacksonville, they're not as bad as their record implies. Like, this team's been in every game this year. They're running the ball. I know they just traded James Robinson, so that's Trevor Etienne's job to lose at this point. Denver's just not cutting it for me this year. The offense doesn't scare you. You know, I haven't even sang my theme song about Russell Wilson this year. That's when you know.
Probably still. Well, he won't play in this game either.
No, he probably won't. I like Jacksonville. I think, you know, they get a win overseas.
And Jacksonville by 21 buckets. They finna. This got to be a blowout. I know. I gave you and Izzy some mini hill for saying Nathaniel Hackett gonna be fired before the season's over. Man, hey, it might happen. Like I am so serious. And
he has done a remotely good job this season. Yeah, I'm rolling with the Jacksonville Jaguars too. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think this game may be a fairly low-scoring game. I think Brett Rippon.
I'll say this: with all that's going on in Denver, if Jacksonville don't win by at least 2 scores,
there's a problem.
But this Denver Bronco defense has been good this season. I do think they're gonna. I do think they'll. I know they'll be on the field. Like this defense has been great, even though they've been on the field like a ton, way more than anyone anticipated they'd be on the field.
Trevor Lawrence might get his first career 400-yard passing game. I'm so.
This will be like a 17-10 win for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Look, David, the direction you going in with predictions, I bet against you. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I want to give you some words of wisdom, man. Remember, it's garbage can, not garbage cannot.
Moving on to back overseas from across the pond, and the first game we're going to talk about is an NFC South rivalry matchup. Carolina Panthers at 2-5 going into Atlanta at 3-4. Carolina obviously coming off that victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Atlanta falling to the Cincinnati Bengals there on Sunday. The last time these two teams played was last season. The Atlanta Falcons won 29-21. Yeah, this is two teams that are not really going anywhere. I'm going to roll with the Atlanta Falcons. I just think they're a little more talented on both sides of the football. Give me Atlanta to win this game.
Yeah, I don't think that's close. If I'm Atlanta and if I'm a Falcons fan, I got Kyle Pitts and I got Drake London. Why are they not more of a focal point with the offense?
Right. I said the same thing.
Well, Drake London's been dealing with a little bit of a nagging injury that has limited his availability. Hasn't stopped him from playing, but his availability from snap-to-snap basis has been a little bit limited. And I think when you're the defense, I mean, Kyle Pitts is the only offense you really have to worry about with Cordell Patterson being out. I mean, you're going to load up to stop Kyle Pitts. It's going to be somebody else that beats us.
Sure.
You know, that's why you see, man, I can't even pronounce that dude's last name, but you see that guy with a. No, not him. The wide receiver. It starts with a Z.
Zacchaeus?
Yeah, you see him get a lot of targets and because they're like, Kyle Pitts is not going to be the guy that beats us. We're going to force him to go somewhere else.
True. No issue, but I'm still going with that, man.
Christian.
Man, this is like a pick 'em of some sorts. Like, it really, like, you can pick any team, and I wouldn't really question anybody or give them my look, depending on who they pick. Like, I like what Carolina's doing. You know, Steve Wilkes, it just seems like they're playing with more energy under him. Remember, I was talking about accountability with the Buccaneers the other day. I said it on the comment of the show, how you don't see that with Todd Bowles, right? But look at what happened Robbie Anderson, Steve Wills holds him accountable, kicks him out the game. He's traded the next day. I'm going to go Carolina here. I'm going to go against the grain. I like how Carolina's playing right now. I think they can put that win behind them last week against Tampa Bay and focus on Atlanta, who's in front of them. Yeah, I'm going to take Carolina here.
Whoa.
Moving on from that game, we got the battle between the NFC North and the NFC East. We got the Chicago Bears going into Jerry World and taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Bears obviously coming off that victory against the New England Patriots. Dallas beat the Detroit Lions there on Sunday. Last time these two teams played was in 2019, where the Bears won 31-24. I do believe that's the Nick Foles game where he came in and basically saved the day.
No, that is the Mitch Trubisky game.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have it flipped. Yeah, it's the Mr. Trubisky where Nick Foles got benched and Mr. Trubisky came and won the game for the Chicago Bears. Obviously, Mr. Trubisky, Nick Foles no longer on the Chicago Bears. But TJ, how do you think this game is going to shake out?
Well, I look at Dallas. I look at the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, like their defense is second to none, right? Like you can, if Cowboys fans want to argue and say my team has the best defense in the NFL, you can't really look at them like they talking after Saturday night because they're not. You have a DPOY candidate in Micah Parsons. You have a corner that's trying to be a shutdown corner in Trevon Diggs. Your coordinator, why is his name escaped? Dan Quinn is probably going to be your next head coach, depending on how.
Maybe.
Depending on how things shape out, but I look at them and like, you let the Detroit Lions stick around, right? Like that was a 10-6 ball game well into the fourth quarter before you pulled away. Right? And if Jamal Williams doesn't fumble on the 1-yard line, this is a different ball game. So I'm not gonna say the Bears are gonna win. Obviously, Dallas is probably gonna win this game, but as long as the Bears are competitive and they keep it respectable, anything can happen. But Dallas is gonna win this game.
I agree with you, taking the Dallas Cowboys, but I do think this game will be closer than many people anticipate. I think the Bears found something with the way they played offense and defense against the New England Patriots. I look for them to build on that momentum, but I just think Dallas is too talented across the board to let this game slip away. Give me Dallas.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm taking the Cowboys as well. I just think that defense amazes me. I tell TJ all the time, this is my favorite defense in the league right now because they beat you in so many different ways. They rush for. Micah Parsons does it all. And the secondary has been locked down as well.
Yeah.
Moving on to another early afternoon game. We got the Miami Dolphins fresh off their victory against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're on Sunday Night Football going up against the Detroit Lions, who are in Ford Field. They're coming off that loss to the Dallas Cowboys we just referenced. Last time these two teams played was in 2018, and Detroit actually won that game 32-21. But do you think it's going to shake out that way the same way here, Christian?
I'm taking the Dolphins. I think the Lions make it a close, competitive game because, like I said about Jacksonville, the Lions are a lot better than I think their record implies. You can't always go by records. You got to look at effort on the field, and the Lions leave it all on the field for Dan Campbell. You just saw how completely different of a team Miami is with Tua Tagovailoa back on the field. I'm taking Miami. I think Tyreek has a big day. I think Jasicki has a big day. I just hope he retires that funky ass Gritty because, like,
I love the funky ass Gritty. But I'm also taking the Miami Dolphins. I do think this game will be pretty close because I do think Detroit can score the football. I know they haven't at all in the last couple of weeks. Like their offense is like after they made all the talk about how good their offense was, they've been pretty bad on offense since then. But yeah, I think Miami when you watch them play when they have Tua at their center. It's a different football team. They play at a faster pace. They just get things done. Give me the Miami Dolphins to win that game. It could be a mini shootout.
Yeah, by mini shootout, what you mean, like 28-24?
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know. Like I don't know what's going on with the Detroit Lions offense because to your point, David, it has been virtually non-existent. Like the last, what would you say?
I think they've scored 10 points in the last 2 games combined.
So they're like, hey,
for real. Like they put up a goose egg against New England, and then they put up 10 against
that. Did they? Like, they I don't think they scored 10 against Dallas. That was like what 24.
Yeah, they only scored 6, so they scored 6 points in the last 2 games combined.
6 points in the last 2 games.
Like they scored 45, and then they fouled it up with a 0 and a 6.
Football. I think the reason I think this is that they can give that Denver, they can give the Dolphins some hell is because of that offensive line that we talk about all the time. Tyreek Hill can't hurt you if you control time of possession, and if you eat at the clock and all that good stuff. Long drives, keep them on the sideline, keep them from running routes on the field. All that good stuff. If you control the tempo, you can win this game. I just think their secondary is that much of a challenge for Jared Goff, and I think he's gonna mess around. He's gonna give him 1, maybe 2, and the Dolphins gonna escape it with
and I also think that secondary for the Detroit Lions is going to have all they can handle with those wide receivers there in Miami.
It's gonna be a long day at the offense. What's that stuff you told me to get? Glutamine.
Glutamine, yeah.
They gonna need a lot of it because they gonna
Moving on to what I think could probably be the game of the weekend, potentially. The Arizona Cardinals going into Minnesota and taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Arizona coming off that victory against the New Orleans Saints. Minnesota coming off their bye. You know what? I did not remember who they played before their bye. It does not matter. The last time these two teams played, Arizona in 2021, Arizona won 34-33. This might have been in September 18, 2021. This is pretty early in last season. This is when Arizona was still. This might be in the DeAndre Hopkins game, right? Where he caught that touchdown.
The Hail Murray.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
Nah, Hail Murray came against Buffalo.
Oh, you're right. I apologize.
It's okay.
Yeah, but Arizona and Minnesota. TJ.
So Minnesota's coming off of the last time we saw them play was against that Dolphins team, but Tua didn't play. Like he was still out.
That's right. Thank you.
So since the last time we saw Minnesota on the football field, they scored 24 points. Kirk Cousins went 20 of 30 for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook 13 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. Jefferson had 6 for 107, but no touchdowns. Who caught the 2 touchdowns? Thielen caught 1, and Irv Smith Jr. caught the other. And that was that. Kirk Cousins got sacked 3 times, all that good stuff. So they kind of called a break against the Dolphins. Well, not kind of. They called a break against the Dolphins because, like I said, Tua wasn't there. And Tyreek Hill still went for 12 for 177. So,
I mean, that's the game where Teddy Bridgewater started, then got hurt, right? And then Skylar Thompson took over.
I think so because Teddy Bridgewater.
No. Skylar Thompson started that game, and then Teddy Bridgewater came in. Yeah.
Okay. So, Arizona, Minnesota, you're not getting a break here because.
I mean, all their full weapons are back. DeAndre Hopkins is back. I mean, obviously missing Marquise Brown, but you expect Robbie Anderson to be more implemented into the offense. James Conner may come back for this game. He has missed the last 3 games with an injury.
Yep. So yeah, this legit might be the game of the week.
I expect this to be a high-scoring game, but I'll roll with Minnesota. I think they might be the best team in the NFC outside of the Eagles.
I'm going against you guys. I'm taking Arizona here. I just think the DeAndre Hopkins factor is going to make all the difference. And sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get from Kirk Cousins. I know the same could probably be applied to Kyler Murray as well. But, I just think that game last week against the Saints was kind of that one game to kind of kickstart their season, get on a run. I think they can run the football. Because Minnesota, the issue I have with the Vikings – they're the worst 5-1 team I've ever seen because they don't put teams away. They let teams hang around. they let teams hang around, and they don't put teams like they should have put Miami away by more than what they did.
It's true. They should have put the Bears away.
Same with the Bears. I'm taking Arizona.
TJ, did you make a pick? Did you pick a pick?
I didn't. I was gonna pick the Cardinals anyway, but not for the reasons that Christian said. I just think that like coming off that game against the Saints, and it's the same thing, right? That was a Thursday night game. You get 10 days, you get a mini bye to literally implement all the new pieces, right? So Robbie, like to your point, David, Robbie Anderson is going to be featured a lot more, right? I think they found something with Isaiah Simmons on like how to properly use him, so he can be more of an X factor for this team. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is DeAndre Hopkins. The only thing that can stop him is what just happened to him, and an injury. Like if he unless he's suspended or he's injured, that's the only thing that's stopping DeAndre Hopkins. That's it. That's all. And I don't think the Vikings have a secondary to contain him because he's getting two. He's getting two. So who's the two? Patrick Peterson and who else?
Lewis Cine probably, or Harrison Smith.
Good luck.
That's barbecue chicken.
That's barbecue chicken.
That's barbecue chicken.
Right,
TJ, you want fries with it?
Absolutely.
At my man.
Moving on from that game, we're going to swing into two pretty, I would say, fairly disappointing teams going up against each other. The Las Vegas Raiders coming in at 2-4, fresh off their victory against the Houston Texans, going into the Bayou, taking on the New Orleans Saints, 2-5, fresh off that loss on Thursday Night Football to the Arizona Cardinals. The last time these two teams played was in 2020. Las Vegas won 34-24. How do you guys see this game shaking out, Christian?
I had some expectations for the Saints coming into this year. That defense, a healthy Jameis Winston, Michael Thomas coming back. You signed Jarvis Landry. On paper, this is a playoff team, right?
Yeah,
but
I predicted them to win the division.
Yeah. I know injuries have really taken a toll on this team, and Andy Dalton he's Andy Dalton. I'm gonna be professional. I'm just gonna keep it at that. He's Andy Dalton. Right. Then you look at the Raiders when they established Josh Jacobs. That makes life easier for Derek Carr. I don't trust this Saints secondary. I like the Raiders to go on the road and get a win in the Superdome. I think Devontae could have the best game of his young Raiders career. Derek Carr can throw a couple touchdowns. Like, think about it. You have to worry about three guys on the Raiders. You got to worry about Devontae Adams, of course. And like TJ says, anybody but him, right? Then you have that mismatch. 6'7", Darren Waller.
I mean, Darren Waller hasn't played in like 3 games. I'm not sure he plays in this game.
Talk about the proverbial fall from grace, and it's not even he did anything wrong. He's just not there.
He's fragile.
And everybody talks about he's better than Travis.
He's better than Kelsey. Yeah, we see this. Look, TJ knows what I'm talking about.
But I do not expect Darren Waller to play in this game.
Yeah, but look, I don't trust the Saints secondary. This is gonna be a shootout. I like the Raiders to prevail.
I'm also rolling with the Raiders. I do not think this will be a shootout. I think it will be low scoring.
Lord.
Yeah, but I do think the Raiders. I do think the Raiders are going to win. I don't trust. You don't trust this Saints secondary. I don't trust this Saints offense right now. If they don't get Michael Thomas back, I just don't see them putting a good product. The offensive line hasn't been good.
Let's knock that off right now, because let's not act like Michael Thomas has where's he been?
I just don't expect him to play in this game.
Exactly. So
Andy Dalton hasn't been good. I mean, this offensive line hasn't played well.
So they've been playing without Michael Thomas. Let's not act like come on now. Are they really missing him?
Yes. I mean, Michael Thomas is a difference maker on offense.
Michael Thomas has played 3 games in 2 years.
Yeah.
Are they really missing him?
They're for sure missing him.
Oh, sure.
I mean, Jarvis Landry hasn't played. They made a big hoo-ha about signing him. Yeah, it hasn't been good.
And That's a free agent sign. I'm not really losing sleep over that one because again, Michael Thomas ain't played the game. He made all that hoopla, all that fuss, demanding trades, woo woo, just to play 3 games.
I mean, Michael Thomas never actually came out and demanded a trade. That was all cooked up by the media.
Are you sure?
Michael Thomas never once anywhere that I've seen anywhere where he demanded a trade.
Like it is what it is at this point. But this is also the type of game where the Raiders forget about a guy like Taysom Hill, and this has Taysom Hill game written all over it, where he gonna throw for a pass in the red zone, throw for a touchdown pass in the red zone. He gonna catch one. Hell, he might run one in too. We might see the trifecta. I'm serious. We might see the trifecta out of Taysom.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, and that'd be great for my fantasy team. He's on there. So.
Ooh, fantasy.
Fantasy football.
Anyways, make your pick.
I'm going against you. I'm gonna take the Saints. I don't like it, but I'm gonna take them.
Moving on from that game, we got the battle in the AFC East going up in the 3-4 New England Patriots going to East Rutherford to take on the 5-2 New York Jets. Last time these two teams played was last season, right around this same time, October 23rd, 2021. And the Patriots put the hurting on the Jets 54-13. Now, I do not think it's going to shake out like that. I'm actually going to take the Jets to win this game. I just don't love what I've seen on New England on the offensive side and on the defensive side, kind of. Outside of Matthew Judon, I mean, their secondary has been kind of inconsistent. Their offense has been super inconsistent. I will roll with the Jets to keep this rolling. They moved to 6-2. TJ.
I'm with you. I'm still keeping an eye out on the Elijah Moore situation.
The last report is that he might play. He's going to play for the New York Jets
but he didn't
this
practice.
week.
He didn't practice. Like
the last report, Robin Sala said he's going to be part of the. He's going to play. So
okay,
I got to take him at his word.
Okay, I think the last game. Who did they just play?
They just played the Denver Broncos.
So I don't think. Okay, I think that's the game where he
was inactive for that game.
Yeah. Okay. So I had it mixed up. I take that back. But it's still something that you want to keep your eye out on. A video was not leaked, but there was a video out there of the Jets sideline, right? And he's clearly frustrated. He's clearly upset. He's walking on the sideline with his helmet in his hand, and he just throws his helmet on the ground and starts to walk off. And Elijah Vera Tucker picks up his helmet and he calls him. Elijah Moore just keeps walking. He calls him again until he finally catches up with him. He hands him his helmet. He's like, "Hey, come on, man, we don't do that. Don't do that." And that just kind of tells you where these two young pros are, because I think they are the same. I think they're in the same draft class, maybe separated by a year.
I think they are in the same class. Elijah Vera Tucker was a first-round pick last season, or maybe 2 years. But Elijah Vera Tucker is actually done for the season.
When did that happen?
That same game that Breece Hall got hurt. Elijah Vera Tucker got hurt too. He's done for the year.
But that just shows the level of maturity between the two dudes. Like, I get it. Like, it's hard, especially when you're a receiver. It's so easy to get disgruntled when you're not getting the ball and all that good stuff. But for the sake of winning, you're 5-2, probably about to be 6-2. And all that glitters, like, come on, man, like, you're winning, and you're gonna win this game. So I'm taking the Jets at 6-2. I'm with you. I think it's gonna be ugly too.
I don't think this game will be close. Christian,
I think it's gonna be ugly.
All right, I think you guys knew one was coming.
I was waiting for it.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Ain't it funny? I moved back here and then I'm previewing a Jets game. Ain't that something? What are the odds? It'll be good to talk about this rivalry. Just so many moments. I still remember Rex Ryan saying, "I didn't come here to kiss Bill Belichick's rings," and can't wait. Can't wait from Bart Scott. Darrelle Revis played for both these teams. Like, it's good to have this rivalry back, on a main stage. I previewed this one on Friday. I want to see how the Jets can they keep this momentum going? Like, they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. Robert Saleh is a blue collar coach. They're playing great defense, and Zach Wilson's managing things. Like, they're not having him throw the ball X amount of times. Like, they've been running the ball. Tough to see what happened with Breece Hall. You know, your thoughts and your well wishes go out to him. But this is why they got James Robinson, to keep that production going. New England, you know, they're going to run the football. They're going to make this game ugly. They're going to put 11 men in the box, and they're going to force Zach Wilson to throw this football. Again, I preview this one on Friday. Be on the lookout.
Moving on from that game, we got the Battle of for Pennsylvania, where we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 2-5 going into the Lincoln Financial Feed there in Philadelphia and taking on the Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles 6-0. Pittsburgh coming off the loss of the Miami Dolphins. The Philadelphia Eagles are coming off their bye. The last time these two teams played was August 11th, 2021. That sounds like a preseason game.
Yes, it does.
Steelers won 24-16. I'm actually going to look up when they actually played the last time.
I think they played in 2020 when Roethlisberger was still playing, and I think Carson Wentz was still quarterbacking the Eagles. But look, the Steelers, they're going through growing pains right now. I mean, it looks like Mike Tomlin's about to clinch a losing record. Like, I have no faith in the Pittsburgh Steelers to do much of anything offensively.
The last time these two teams played was October 11th, 2020. The Philadelphia Eagles lost that game 29-38. So
I'm gonna take the Eagles. Yeah, I'm gonna take Philly. I just think they have too much. I think A.J. Brown has a big game. Devontae Smith has a big game. And Philly, they're going to run that football.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't really know what we're going to get offensively out of the Pittsburgh Steelers on a game-to-game, as the snap-to-snap, drive-to-drive mindset. So, yeah, I'll take Philadelphia to win that game. They've been the most complete team in the NFL so far.
So Derrick Henry has completely owned the Texans.
All right, fine. Moving on to that game, we're going to battle. Moving into the late window, we got a battle in the AFC South. We got the Tennessee Titans going into NRG Bank Stadium for the Houston Texans. Derrick Henry has completely owned them. The last time these two teams played was January 8th, 2020. It might have been the last game of the season. Tennessee 28-25. TJ, go ahead.
Yeah, Derrick Henry has completely owned the Texans. I think it was like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago when he needed, I forgot how many yards to cement the rushing crown. He went off like 230, 240.
Well, he needed. I think he needed like X amount of yards to get to 2,000. Same thing. And he basically did it in like the first half.
Again, the Titans, they turned it around, man. Like, remember all the question marks everybody had about them because they were like 0-2, and they were struggling, and it was, this is ugly. I don't know what the Titans are gonna do, and woo. And now they're right back in they in the catbird seat, as Shannon Sharp likes to say. I don't know what a catbird is, but they in the seat. They in the catbird seat. They up top. I don't think this is going to be close. I just don't think like the Texans still don't have an answer for him.
I mean, not that many teams in the NFL do, so you know.
I mean, not that many. Like what the Kansas City Chiefs do, and we saw. All you gotta do is just get ahead. But the Texans don't have that type of offense to completely neutralize Derrick Henry and be like, all right, we can't run the ball. We have to. Like, we basically got to pass from this point on. They don't have that kind of offense. So I fully expect a 20-28 carry game, 130-180, and 2 touchdowns for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I'm taking the Titans too. I just think that they're a better football team than the Houston Texans right now. Especially, Christian.
Houston averages, they give up 164, close to 165 yards per game rushing. TJ, say what we normally say when we want to go to the next game. Next game. Give me Tennessee all day.
And then we got the battle of the Carson Wentz revenge tour, sort of. We have, he's not even going to play in this game. I don't know what I'm talking about. Washington Commanders going into this game at 3-4, fresh off beating Green Bay Packers. Indianapolis Colts, fresh off losing to the Tennessee Titans and starting Sam Ellinger as the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Washington 3-4, Indianapolis Colts 3-1. The last time these two teams made was in 2018. The Colts squeaked out the victory 21-9. Six-pack to Tyler Heineke's is going to be the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders. Christian, how do you think this one's going to shake out?
The Colts are a mess, and I had a lot of expectations for them coming into this year, and it just hasn't worked out. The offensive line is soft. I know Jonathan Taylor hasn't been there, but this isn't a team that Matt Ryan can take a game over with his arm. You see what I'm saying? The defense has been a letdown. I know Shaquille Leonard really hasn't played. I like Washington in this one on the road. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Indianapolis Colts. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're soft.
TJ.
I like Tyler. I like Heineke way more than we gonna like Sam Ellinger. This is not the front you want to see for your first NFL game.
No.
This is not. Chase Young is coming back, by the way.
And I think Jonathan Allen might come back in this game too. He was pretty close last week.
They already said that. Chase Young is definitely coming back, barring a catastrophic setback. Chase Young is coming back for this game. So whoever your left or right tackle is, get the glutamine because you're gonna need it.
I'm taking the Commanders too. I do think this will be a low-scoring, messy, sloppy football game.
I just want to say this. Here's how this move doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're starting Sam Ellinger. All right, here let's go. Let's do a correlation background check. Right, back in 2017 when the Eagles won a Super Bowl. Right, when Carson Wentz got hurt, Nick Foles came in. Who was the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Frank Reich.
Who's the head coach now for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Who's
one of the backups for the Indianapolis Colts? Nick Foles. Why wouldn't you start the dude that won a Super Bowl? I'm just saying.
My honest opinion is I think the Colts are like, you know what? We're just going to reset this franchise. We need to get a quarterback and develop him. We're not going to continue doing this dance where we just kind of sign whoever's available and just start him that season. And the Colts have been in complete flux since Andrew Luck retired out of nowhere because they have a roster that's good enough to compete. They just have that question mark at the quarterback position, so they try to fill a stopgap to be competitive while still, and it hasn't worked. And it's bitten in the ass.
Nah, it definitely has, but I also look at it as
it for sure has not worked. I mean, they made the playoff one time.
Right. It hasn't. My corrections. Yeah, I stand corrected. Here's my thing. Sorry, TJ. Here's my thing, though. I think this is a Jim Irsay decision. I don't think Frank Reich had anything to do with this.
For sure, shit isn't a Frank Reich decision because you're gonna get fired over it.
Right. Frank Reich, like I said, Frank Reich probably just collecting checks till the end of the season. Till we already know what's coming. We already know what's coming. But David, to your point, and Izzy brings that up all the time. I legit think that's why they didn't go with Nick Foles because they're tired of this old quarterback after old quarterback after old quarterback cycle. And it doesn't help them. Like, Christian, I get it. Nick Foles knows Frank Reich probably like the back of his hand. He was super, like, that's probably the most success. That is the most success he's had.
For sure is, yeah.
In the NFL, right? And I'm gonna be real with you. I forgot Nick Foles was even on the team. I swear to God.
Me too, actually. For real. But yeah, I think, this is a lot like the conversations we have with the NBA. I mean, like being in the middle of the pack, which the Colts are currently right now,
is the worst
place to be because you're not competitive enough to really push for like a championship, but you're not bad enough to like get a top 5 pick and actually build something that matters. So I think you're going to roll out Sam Ellinger And hopefully, I'm just saying, they're setting them up for not being good at all. This offensive line has been in flux. The wide receiving core kind of sucks. The tight end is basically non-existent. Jonathan Taylor is the lone bright spot on the offense. Yeah, I think they're going to set Sam Ellinger out there, and they're just going to whatever happens, happens. Moving on to the battle in the NFC West between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. San Francisco 49ers coming off their loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Rams are coming off their bye. I think before that they lost to that name is totally escaping me right now. But last time these two teams played was last season. San Francisco seems to have the Rams number 24-9. This is actually a game that I actually think is very interesting because the Rams have not really established another edge rusher outside of Aaron Donald. They haven't really gotten pressure on the quarterback.
Edge rusher.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been able to generate pass rusher, a rusher out of Aaron Donald. I think San Francisco is going to find more ways to use Chris McCaffrey in this game. Give me San Francisco to win this game. I think they have the Rams number, at least in the regular season.
Yeah, I think the last time we saw the Rams play football, they were playing in Dallas. They lost to Dallas.
They lost to the last time the Rams played. Actually, they beat the Carolina Panthers 24-10.
Okay, so I sorted them again. Sorry. That one and that one even a good. That was
not really. No, that was. I think that's the game that right after what's his name got fired.
Yeah. Matt Rule.
Matt Rule. Yeah.
It was supposed to blow their ass out by 30. But like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm just not liking what I'm seeing out of the Rams as a team, right? Like, yeah, you have a bright, and they don't have half the drama that Tampa Bay has going on. That's what's really sad. This is legit just a massive Super Bowl hangover.
I don't even think it's just that. I just think that like when you deplete your talent, the talent on your roster, like the way they have by not taking draft picks and trading away players and not using draft picks, when players get hurt, you don't have talent to replace those guys. And that's what they're dealing with right now because they just don't have, like, people are getting injured on their offensive line. They have nobody to replace them because they haven't had draft picks.
And I guarantee if you was to ask Les Snead, would he do it all over again?
For sure. I mean, it turns into a Super Bowl. There's no way you don't do it. But right now, it's hurting him.
But right now he looks bad because, like you said, like Andrew Whitworth's retiring. You had to know that was coming. So you had to do a better job of prep. You should have prepped for that 2 years ago.
I mean, No Boom's been there a while. I mean, he's hurt now. Like he's unavailable. So.
But the one thing you can never have enough of in surplus is offensive linemen, right? Yep. The Allen Robinson experiment hasn't worked. You're clearly missing, like the money that went to Allen Robinson was clearly going to go to Odell, but he tears his ACL in the Super Bowl, and you're still holding out hope. You're still holding out the locker space.
I mean, they got to be more competitive than this if they're going to get him to sign there. But who do you guys got in the game?
Oh, it's the Niners. It's not even close. I don't like how they try to basically force feed Christian McCaffrey to us and to the Niner faithful. Like, yeah, we got Christian McCaffrey. Let us show him off now. But it's like, no. Like, I feel like it would have been better if you like situational football, like red zone situations, maybe third down situations. Like, he got the first carry of the game.
Yep.
Right, and it was just like, all right, I'm going to show you my new toy. Like, well, you didn't have to do that.
Christian.
Shameless plug number 2. It just seems like every time these two teams play, the 49ers beat the Rams at their own game. They're just so physical at the point of attack, and it wears them down to the point where the Rams get hit in the mouth so badly that they can never recover. I haven't liked what I've seen from the Rams this year. They're inconsistent on that offensive line. They can't get the running game going. Stafford is running for his life 9 times out of 10. I don't think Allen Robinson is a good fit for this offense.
I mean, Allen Robinson hasn't been a good fit anywhere he's been the last 2 years. So
I mean, yeah, and defensively, the Rams don't scare me. But I preview this one on Thursday.
And moving on to what actually is going to be one of the better games of the weekend, where you got the New York Christians, New York Football Giants, going into Seattle and taking on the Seahawks. The New York Giants at 6-1, Seattle at 4-3. Seattle fresh off that win against the Chargers. The Giants, man, I cannot remember who they just beat, but they're coming off the victory. Last time these two teams played was in December 5th of 2020, and the New York Giants won that game 17-12. Christian, since this is your football team, I'll let you go first.
Ain't this ironic too? Previewed the Jets,
The
and
Giants,
now I'm previewing
Giants beat
this
the
one too.
Jaguars. So the
Yeah,
Jaguars.
there you go. And now I preview this one as well. Yeah, the Giants, they just continue to do it because they believe in one another. But you also have to credit Brian Dable. I don't know if you guys saw this video after the Jacksonville game. Brian just seems like a guy who's normal. He looks like he works a regular 9 to 5, right? He does. One, I like him because he plays "Juicy" by Biggie Smalls at the end of every song. So if you play a little Biggie, baby, I'm gonna rock with you. That's number one. Number two, he just has them believing, and I like what he's done with Daniel Jones. They're making Saquon Barkley the point of emphasis on the offense, and that defense is playing really well under Wink Martindale. Now, I look at the other side with Seattle with a straight face. Who thought the Seattle Seahawks would have a better record than the Denver Broncos? Geno Smith.
I mean, they got a better record than the Rams right now. I mean,
Right,
they have a better record than the Green Bay Packers right now.
Yeah, because look at who's in Seattle's division. Look, don't nobody care about Arizona. I know I don't. The 49ers have played in 2 of the last 3 NFC championship games, and then you're in the division with the defending Super Bowl champions, and you're in first place right now. And I mean, they're doing it with a revamped running game. I really like what Kenneth Walker is bringing to the table, and TJ knows how much I love Kenneth Walker. TJ, you remember that game last year, Michigan State, when he just went off and ran circles around.
When they cheated Michigan because they damn sure cheated.
So this is a matchup between 2 of the biggest surprises of the National Football League. You got the New York Giants at 6-1 and the Seattle Seahawks at 4-3. Nobody thought that they'd be this good at this point, and nobody thought that this would be a marquee game going into the 8th week of the season, where it's like, yeah, this is going to be must-see television. This might be the top 5 game of the week. New York Giants going to take Seattle. I'm rolling with the Giants. I love what they've done on offense. I love what they're doing on defense. As long as they continue to roll with Saquon Barkley, give me the Giants.
I'm going with the Giants too, but I do one better. Talking about Seattle, Geno Smith is the best quarterback in the NFC West right now,
and it's not even close.
It is not close.
It's not close. I preview this one tomorrow. Be on the lookout for it.
Dave, I see that look on your face. He playing better than Matt. He playing better than Matt Stafford.
I don't think that's close. I think Geno Smith for sure has been.
He playing better than whoever's playing quarterback for the 49ers, whether it was Trey Lance or Jimmy G. And he's playing better football than Kyler Murray.
I think that was closer. But DeAndre with Kyler Murray with DeAndre Hopkins back has been really, the 1 week was pretty fun to watch. But
like the only thing that's gonna hurt the Seattle Seahawks this week is DK Metcalf might not play. I would be shocked if he played. We don't know the status of DK Metcalf. That's about it.
Moving on to Sunday Night Football, we got the Green Bay Packers going into Orchard Park, taking on the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills coming off their bye. Green Bay coming off losing to the Washington Commanders in a 6-pack of Tyler Heineke's. The last time these 2 teams played was August 27, 2021, where the Buffalo Bills won the game 19-0. Is that a preseason game?
Yes, that's a preseason game.
I will look up the last time these 2 teams actually played. TJ, how do you think it's going to shake out? Green Bay, Buffalo. I think the last time they played when they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. 2 weeks ago.
Buffalo gonna win this game. I'm just get that out the way. But Aaron Rodgers said something. I think to it was either national media or Green Bay media. I forgot who, but that coming off of this loss to Washington, he's like, I love this for us. We're going into a game where no one thinks we have a chance. It's prime time. We're going to get destroyed. We're going to get exposed. I don't think you can get any more exposed than what you already are. You literally just lost to a guy who's named after a beer company. Um, the one thing I love about it, like I love the bravado because it's like, yeah, doubt me, doubt us, and we finna shock the world. But in reality, you don't stand a fucking chance. And I hate to say, like, excuse my language, like they don't stand a chance. Jair Alexander literally just got took to the woodshed by Terry McLaurin, who's not on the same level as Stephon Diggs. So what are we gonna do about that? Gabe Davis is probably the best big play receiver in the NFL, not named Tyreek Hill. So what are you gonna do about that? And you have absolutely no answer on that line for Von Miller. It's gonna be a long night.
So yeah, the last time these two teams played was 9/30/2018. The Packers rolled up 22 points to the Buffalo Bills, nothing. This may be Josh Allen's rookie season. He is certainly not the player that he was then. Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo. Green Bay is a mess right now, and I don't think it's going to get fixed by playing the best defense and the best offense in the NFL. That no-fly zone that Izzy talked about at the beginning of the season, hasn't worked out. Give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think this is a must-win for Green Bay, but I just don't sense any urgency from the Packers. They're soft. Like, they can't stop the run. So, Buffalo, I've been calling you out all year. If there was ever a chance for you to get your running game together, Sunday night is the night. And, I want to give a professional middle finger to Aaron Rodgers for screwing up my schedule because I was looking forward to previewing this one, but then he just dropped a lowly game to the Washington Commanders. I just don't see Green Bay's defense being able to keep up with this Buffalo offense. They're not going to put pressure on Josh Allen. Like, Buffalo is just so well-rounded. That front seven's going to get after Aaron Rodgers. That Buffalo offensive line is going to do a great job of protecting Josh Allen. I like Buffalo. Buffalo might blow them out.
I think it could be a blowout. I totally agree. They have the kind of Minnesota Vikings type offense that can put it hurting on you real fast.
Right. But but God, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to agree with you, David. I love you, but I'm just nervous to agree with you.
I love you too, brother. Moving on.
Go ahead.
I was just going to move into the Monday Night Football game, but if you got something more.
No, moving on. It was just a tip of what Izzy shared to the group. Because Aaron Rodgers and Pat McAfee, they real tight. He does like weekly, he does like regular appearances on Pat McAfee's pod, and Aaron Rodgers was quoted saying, "Guys who are making too many mistakes shouldn't be playing. Got to start cutting some reps." It's honest. He's right. But at the same time, he's wrong.
Because look, when you say things like that, I take that as throwing your teammates under the bus. You see what I'm saying? Like, look, some things just need to stay behind closed doors in a locker room within your organization.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't been all that good either this season. Like,
he hasn't. Because
he hasn't been that good. Like, he hasn't been that good. Like,
look, he's selfish because he took all that money. They trade Devontae Adams, and the front office is saying, "Look, you're another year older now. You're not getting younger. Yeah, you've won the last 2 MVPs. Now let's see what you're made of." And he hasn't shown what he can do. Like, you're thinking this is a year where he's going to improve as a, as a leader. And I haven't even seen that. And TJ knows where I'm about to go with this. I remember that beginning game of the year, opening game of the year against the Minnesota Vikings. He tries to get the ball to Christian Watson. Christian drops the ball, which made all us Christians look bad. But anyway, we'll talk about that another day. And Rodgers didn't even look in his direction or in his vicinity the rest of the game. Right, and that kills a young player's confidence.
Moving on to Monday Night Football, we got the Cincinnati Bengals going into Cleveland, taking on the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati coming off that victory against the Atlanta Falcons. Cleveland coming off taking the loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, the last time these two teams played was the last week of the season last year. And Cleveland won that game 21-16. Cincinnati didn't play any of their starters in that game, had everything already sewed up. So how do we see this one shaking out? Christian.
Cincinnati has it going right now. The offensive line is playing better. Joe Burrow's found that swagger. He's spreading the ball around. The defense is playing better. Cleveland's a mess. I like Cincinnati, and I don't think this is going to be even close.
I'm also rolling with Cincinnati. I do not think this game will be close. I think both these primetime games will be blowouts.
Yeah. To Christian's point about Joe Burrow's swagger, when he get that swagger, he ain't Joe Burrow no more. He Joey B. that's his rap name. He Joey B.
I know that. I know that's right.
He Joey B. He show up with that's when he show up with the white chinchilla coat. You know what I'm talking about, Christian.
Yeah.
I've seen that coat.
Then he has the necklace on.
Right.
Yeah.
His hair a little gelled up. I'm like, this Joey B. This missed like that went from he go from, sir, what time do you want me to bring her home to she called me daddy now. Like, yeah, that's Joey B. That's Joey B.
Exactly.
Yeah, this could be ugly, and I get why this was a prime time outside of the AFC North rivalry aspect of it, but at the time we didn't know what was going to happen with Deshaun Watson. We didn't know if he was going to be suspended. We didn't know if a suspension was coming. We didn't know how long it was going to be, because the initial ruling was 6 weeks. So Deshaun Watson
he'd be back by now.
He'd be back by this point.
And the schedule came out long before that suspension. So they gotta try to plan stuff out ahead of time.
So yeah, I get it, but this at no point in time do I expect this game to be close outside the first few minutes of the first quarter.
Totally agree with you. But yeah, that's been our Week 7 Monday Night Football recap and our Week 8 preview / predictions. But yeah, keep an eye out. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Tomorrow, me and Izzy are going to be giving you our Fantasy Football Weekly show, where we give you our weekly rankings. So you don't want to miss that content. And Thursday afternoon, me and TJ are going to bring you the crossover. We're going to be diving into some storylines going on in the National Basketball Association. You don't want to miss that content either. I've been David Huffman. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins. And right there is Mr. Christian Simpson. Gentlemen, what we do hit the prime, my friends.
We bring the heat, and the weather's been so nice lately. I don't want.
No, it's been immaculate, dude. I love this kind of weather. I almost wish it could stay like this all year round, but I for sure will not.
Christian, what's the weather in New York? Is it rainy? Is it sunny?
Today's the first day the sun came out since I've been here. Like, it was like a misty rain throughout the day yesterday, and then Sunday.
You want to know why it's sunny? Because the Yankees ain't playing baseball no more.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I got him.
You guys can take this to the group chat. We will see you guys all tomorrow. You have a good night. Stay safe, gentlemen. Peace out.